Hey guys, welcome to the Love of Books, Movies, and Happiness. My name's April, and this evening we have the next review, which is going to be more of a fall-themed book, and it's one of my new favorites. It's also one of the few ones that I've given a 5-star rating to. So if you're looking for a book that fits the fall theme of having witches in it, if you're the type of person that enjoys like the conspiracy theories and the puzzles and kind of like the Da Vinci Code almost, but more lighthearted, well then you need to stick around because I've got the book just for you. Alright guys, today's review is An Intrigue of Witches. There we go. Nice cool looking cover with a key on it and just a really cool kind of mystical looking background to it. It's a secret society mystery. It is the first book in the mystery series and it's by Esme Addison. Which, honestly, this is the first book of hers that I've read, but I am on the lookout for her other books. So in An Intrigue of Witches, we get to meet our main character, Sidney Taylor. Now, Sidney is an American history professor who's gotten some fame going for her. You know, she's made a few discoveries, gotten her name out there in a few articles, that kind of thing. She's doing really good for her museum. Only she makes a discovery that just kind of halts everything in its tracks. Which, during a dig around a Native American archaeological area, she finds among some of the women's stuff a symbol that is Egyptian, which that obviously confuses some people and throws a wrench into everything because Egyptians and Native Americans aren't known to associate. So this discovery, instead of being her next big find and continuing funding for the museum, instead, it gets her put on unpaid leave. She's told that she can't talk about it. She had to sign a non-disclosure form. And she's essentially without a job until they make a decision otherwise. You know, which to her is very unfair. And personally, I would agree with that. But while she's cleaning out her office, she gets a letter inviting her to help look for an artifact throughout the summer, and it gives her a timeline, and they're like, you know, we need help finding this artifact, there's some puzzles to solve to locate it, and for helping look for this artifact, you're going to get $10,000. Well, for someone who's into American history and likes to do historical digs and that, as someone who currently does not have income coming in, that's a win-win. So, she figures why not. Bonus for her is that it's near her grandmother's place. You know, so she can go stay with her grandma and visit with her grandma while she then finds this artifact and finds out whoever sent her the letter because, well, there's no name to it. So this begins a very entertaining, very interesting adventure for Sidney. We follow her as she not only solves a puzzle, but she also finds out some of her own family history she didn't know about. May or may not end up saving the world. And the very ending gives us a cliffhanger where you just know that there's more to it and you just can't wait for the next story. With a very, very, very slow romance. Like, I'm dead serious in the fact that this is like grade school romance level romance. Nothing wrong with that though. Not every book needs, a couple hooking up and passionate scenes, and you don't need that for a good story. Which this Esme Addison has done a very good job of doing so, of not doing that. She's managed to give you the hint of a romance, right? Where it's you get the flirting and you get the possibility, but everything keeps happening to keep that from happening. And then by the end of the book, well, we're going to have to wait for the next few books to see if it actually turns into anything. So it is, by definition, the beginning of a very slow burn romance. Which, hey, it works in this story. You kind of feel for the characters and the timing of everything because they keep getting interrupted with stuff, but at the same time, it works. I highly enjoyed the way it's written, the overall pace of the story. It is a short book, at least to me. It is, let's see here. So page 1, which isn't really page 1, but that's just how it's labeled, all the way to page 274 is this overall story. So that's not, it's not that thick. It's really not that bad, honestly. It's something that, even though it's a shorter book, the overall pace of it is nice and smooth. It's not rushed. You don't feel like anything's missing. If anything, it is very jam-packed. And I do mean jam-packed. Like, honestly, for the amount of story and plotline that she put into this fairly short book, I would have expected it to be like 7th Harry Potter book size story. She does a really good job of putting multiple storylines in that all blend in and all make sense to the overall story. And then not only do they make sense to the overall story, even on their own they would have made sense. And some of those storylines, of course, as I've already mentioned, you have the conspiracy theories. There's a secret society, or 2, actually, sorry, 3 secret societies. My apologies. You've got the slow burn romance. You have the hunt for the artifact with bits of American, European, and Egyptian history kind of sprinkled throughout the whole story, mind you. You have a serial killer. You have, of course, you got your good guy, bad guy storyline going on. And then you've got your own, like, family history, personal discovery. And there is witchcraft and time travel, all mixed within one intriguing story that manages to take all these little storylines and just wrap them up into one grand adventure over the course of a summer that doesn't go to multiple places. It literally takes place in one town, one small town, and the characters are all, once you meet the main characters, that's who you're dealing with. You don't get 5,000 characters to worry about. So it's a very enjoyable but very complex story. If you can't find at least one thing out of those storylines to enjoy, then this isn't the right kind of book for you. I mean, and there are some, I have seen a couple, like, good read reviews and a couple others that kind of criticized it. Which, to each their own. Everyone enjoys their stories their way. Some people like a good complex storyline with multiple theories to it. Others just want one basic storyline only. Would it have worked if she did that? Yeah, that would have worked just fine. She could have literally just had the secret society only and saved some of the rest of it for another book. It would have worked by itself, or it works even better the way this is. And honestly, the overall character of Sidney is a very entertaining, intelligent, obviously, with her profession. But it's not even her profession. It's just like solving puzzles and figuring out what's going on. She's quick-witted. There we go. She's good at just jumping in and going, okay, well, how does this work? What's the next step? What's that little stone do in the wall? So you don't have to deal with those characters where you just want to strangle them because they can't figure out the obvious. That's definitely not her. She's the kind of person, if she was real, you'd want her on your side. Especially if you were doing like one of those escape rooms or something like that, because she'd be perfect for that, honestly. One thing with Sidney is she's a skeptic on a lot of things. Like, she knows that stuff is out there, but she's more firmly based in the science of everything. So it's not like she's one of these characters who's just going to believe everything told to him and, oh, witches, fairies, ooh, no. She's more like, give me proof. How do you know it's real? How do I know I can trust this? Did you give me something? Like, she questions everything, which you need that in a character. You need the kind of character who's not just going to take everything at face value, because otherwise you get bored with that character rather quickly. So, if you are looking for the kind of book that's going to keep you entertained and keep you thinking, I highly, highly recommend An Intrigue of Witches. And I know for a fact that as soon as it's announced that the second book is out, I will be hounding my library to get the second book. So, Intrigue of Witches by Esme Addison. Overall review, 5 stars. Well written, likable characters, a good solid plot that makes sense. It's not rushed, it's not short, it doesn't feel like she cut anything out. I think she just kind of decided, I'm just gonna keep adding to this until it just explodes like a bag of popcorn, which is essentially what she did. I don't know how she could have fit anything else in there. The writing style itself is very smooth, very easy to understand, and even when her character's talking about some of her American history stuff, they still make it in a way that it's fun to learn what you're reading. Alright guys, let me know what you think. Go out and find yourself a copy. Your local library, used bookstore, your friend, your parents, who knows, someone should have a copy somewhere. And if you go to the library and they don't, well then try asking if they can get it, or see if they can do an interloan and borrow it from another library. Now, it's one of those books at 200 and something pages you should be able to have finished at least within a month. I mean, depending on whatever is going on in your life at that time. You can renew it as long as it's not on a wait list and have it for another couple weeks and enjoy a good story. Grab your favorite beverage and your favorite fall coffee cup while you do it. Sit back and be ready to laugh. Because this will definitely be one that makes you do that. Alright guys, as always, if you enjoy this review, then please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And also enjoy my other video reviews. I'll leave a link to the playlist. check them out. Who knows, maybe you'll find another book you like. Now, keep an eye out for future reviews. As we get further in the fall and closer to Halloween, I'll be doing some more fall/Halloween book reviews. I try not to go straight into the Halloween reviews in September. As much as I love Halloween, I want to keep some books for Halloween itself. But keep an eye out, guys. And if you like vampire characters, then definitely watch for my next review, which is going to be Christine Feehan's Dark Prince. Alright guys, until next time, keep reading.